I was not planning on doing this, but I had to come live again to just give my reaction on Djokovic versus Dominic Thiem. Oh my God. What a match. What a match. I mean, that was pretty awesome stuff. When the level of play that these guys can go at for as long as they can go at it, and how hard they can hit the ball, then the defense, and then the offense, and the defense, and then finally the offense. The offense won today, and you got to say that Dominic Thiem is starting to figure out how to play on faster courts. And I think he made a promise to his coach after the U.S. Open, like, this is not going to happen anymore, to where I'm losing to players I frankly shouldn't be losing to. I want to start competing for all the Grand Slam titles, not just the French Open. And so you can see that he's clearly changing his style of play, still hitting the big ground strokes, but moving more forward on both the return and then in the baseline rallies. And he's got some serious firepower that the best players in the world, like Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, at times they just can't handle it. It's like too much heat. It's too much heat. And so he really shook things up today, because before the match today, I thought for sure that Djokovic was going to be the one who is a lock for the semifinals at the World Tour Finals. And now it makes it extremely interesting, because Dominic, he's the lock. He's in. He's in. And so now you got Fed versus the Joker. Fed versus the Joker, winner take all to get to the World Tour Finals, semifinals. So I just wanted to know, who do you think is in, who is out, who's going to get that semifinal spot? And, who do you think is playing better right now? I'd say you'd have to give the edge to Djokovic. He looks like he's playing pretty well. He killed Berrettini. He played pretty darn good today. He played amazing defense, which really, when he's playing amazing defense, Federer has a tough time beating him. When Djokovic is playing amazing defense, it usually makes Federer miss some volleys and some approach shots that he normally doesn't miss. And Djokovic almost pulled it off against Dominic Thiem. And that's what we saw in a lot of crucial points. It looked like Thiem had the open court, had a more of an open volley to make, and he was missing some of those shots. So, Djokovic almost pulled it off with the defense, but you got to give Dominic Thiem a lot of credit, because what he didn't do is take those errors and start to get frustrated. I mean, he hit that, remember that match point in the tiebreaker, he hit one right down the center, and I can't even make, it was like, you can't even make how small it was out. And so that's heartbreaking. And then I think he lost that point. Now, for a lot of players, and maybe a year or two ago, that would have been it. Djokovic would have won the match. Lots of times against the greatest players of all time, you get that one look, and if you don't get it, they turn the match around, and you never see the victory that you thought was yours. A similar situation happened to Dominic Thiem at the U.S. Open a couple years ago against Nadal, where, I mean, he had Nadal as much against the ropes as you could possibly have somebody, and he could not pull it off. He could not pull off the victory, and you thought maybe that would happen today. But when he got his next look, when he got to the next point, again, he stood toe-to-toe with Djokovic, and the story of the day was just a little too much firepower. And I saw him do the same thing. I saw him do the same exact thing to Federer at Indian Wells. So I really am excited for him, because I've watched a lot of his YouTube videos where he's training. The guy works so hard. And he just seems like a really good guy, and he's got a really entertaining style play. I mean, his forehand looks amazing. I love his one-hand topspin backhand. I love his slice. I love that he comes to the net. He's just a lot of fun to watch. So I really hope that he can win. I hope this is going to put him in the position to where he's proving to himself that he can play on faster surfaces. He can beat the best players in the world. Now he's done it at Indian Wells, which, again, as my friend Matt Bradshaw says from Coffee Break Tennis, that plays out of all the hard courts, that plays the most like a clay court. so not as big a win. But when you're starting to do it indoors, where the ball doesn't bounce as high, where the play is faster, and he's playing like this, pretty awesome. So maybe he can win a Grand Slam next year. That would be pretty awesome. I think he deserves it. Let me know what you guys think. Does this now put him as the favorite to win the World Tour Finals? Is he the player playing the best tennis? Is he the sharpest? Will he win? Or is Djokovic going to beat Federer and then get his revenge? It's interesting. Is Djokovic going to beat Federer and get his revenge against Dominic Thiem? Or is Federer going to beat Djokovic and then get his revenge against Dominic Thiem? That's basically what we're looking at. So, you know, it's going to be a really tall order, but I think Dominic might be up for the task to be able to go in, beat both Federer and Djokovic, and then you got to beat one of them again to get to the finals, and then who knows who's waiting in the finals. Then you might have to beat Rafa Nadal. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it turns out. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who do you think is going to come out on top in this side of the draw? I think it's a very interesting side of the draw. And, you know, Dominic, he's there. Fed, Djokovic, going to be a really tough match. What Fed has going for him is you're playing on a faster service, and you saw how Dominic Thiem was able to power through the court, a little bit too much firepower at times, and we know Federer can do that. He's got the big forehand, and I think when he gets a lot of the same looks that Dominic Thiem was getting at the net, Federer would not miss a number of the volleys that I saw Dominic miss today. But I do think that the way Dominic is hitting the ball, he's a little more solid off the baseline now. He's a little more consistent than Fed looks lately. Fed is just tending to spray too many balls from what I can see. And if he gets into any extended rallies, which when you play Djokovic, you're going to have to win some extended rallies. It seems like the forehand is starting to shank and things like that. So he's going to need to clean up his game if he's going to beat Novak, but it's certainly a surface where he can beat him, and it's 2 out of 3 sets, so he doesn't have to win a 3 out of 5 set match. So all that looks good for Fed, but what looks good for Novak is I don't think there's any shoulder pain there. He seems to be moving great. His timing seems to be pretty good, and so it's just basically going to be what's going to be better on that day. Is Novak's defense going to be better than Fed's offense, or is Fed's offense going to tighten up? He's going to have to serve pinpoint accuracy serves. He's going to have to keep the points short. And when he gets into some extended rallies, he's going to have to be consistent. You know, if Djokovic can smell that if I can just get Fed in an extended rally, he's going to shank. He's going to make an unforced error. Djokovic is so tough that he's going to figure out a way to make those points go longer. So Fed has got to tighten up his game if he wants to get to the semifinals. Djokovic just has to be Djokovic and come up with some big shots at some big times and hope that Fed is a little off his game. You know, certainly I think if they're both playing their absolute best tennis, I still like Djokovic. I think for the match to go Fed's way, Fed's going to have to tighten up his game. He's going to have to play incredibly well. Djokovic's going to have to be a little off his game, maybe just be playing purely defense and not really finding the offensive side of the court, which sometimes Djokovic struggles to do, be a little too defensive at times. I feel when he gets beaten, you know, he's got to put that offense out there too. So it should be a very interesting match. That will be determined who's going to get to the semifinals. And so let me know what you guys think. Comment on this video. And thanks so much for watching. This is Pete from Crunch Time Coaching signing off. We'll see you on future videos.